Say when.
Close.
Somebody's giving us a profile. Who is that in the lower left?
Dan.
Dan.
I thought it was Che Guevara.
All right, we have live, we're good.
Okay. Morning, everyone.
Morning.
Morning.
We'll get rolling at 10:34 a.m. Those of you who wish to do so, please join me in the invocation. I know I did this once a while ago, and it seems appropriate to do this one again, given the circumstances around the country. It's the prayer of St. Francis of Assisi. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. And where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. O Lord, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive, it is in pardoning that we are pardoned, and it is in dying that we are born to eternal life. Amen.
Amen.
Bill Chickering will lead us in the pledge.
Thank you. Please join me in the pledge to our great nation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States
United States of America.
Public.
to the republic for which it stands, one
Indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You just have to mutter because of the echo. All right, will the clerk please call the roll?
Chickering,
here.
Curran,
Here.
Freeland,
Here.
Harrison,
Here.
Hugo,
Here.
Hinkleman,
Here.
Majeri,
Here.
Meeks,
Here.
Scott,
Here.
Allred,
Here.
Yarborough,
Present.
Elliott.
Here.
Mr. Chair, you have 12 present.
Thank you. We have minutes from 2 weeks ago that were emailed out several days ago. I hadn't heard from anyone about any changes to those minutes. Assuming there are none, is there a motion to approve the minutes as prepared by the clerk?
And I'll make
Mr.
that
Chair,
motion.
this is Commissioner Freeling. I will support that motion.
Who made the motion?
Commissioner Curran.
Okay, so moved by Curran, supported by Freeling. All in favor?
No, roll call.
Or, sorry, roll call. I
Chickering.
forget.
Yes.
Curran,
Yes.
Freeling,
Yes.
Harrison,
Yes.
Hugo,
Yes.
Hinkleman,
Yes.
Majeri,
Yes.
Meeks,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Allred,
Affirmative.
Yarborough,
Yes.
Elliott.
Yes,
Mr. Chair, you have 12 yeas.
thank you. Have we any communications?
Yes, you received one email communication from the Watervliet City Manager, R. Tyler Dotson, regarding resolution F-200-8309, full faith and credit for the South Watervliet Drainage Project received on August 5th. That's all.
All right, thank you. And that was sent out to everyone already, right? I believe so by Annette.
Right, correct.
We're at the point now where we'll entertain public comment about resolutions that are on the consent calendar. So we'll take a pause in the proceedings to see if anyone sends in any comments.
Did you see the statement at the bottom from Mr. Tyler?
Yes.
Okay. It said, may I comment?
Oh. So you have the city manager, Art Tyler Dodson, on, and he would like to comment about that. Is that okay? He was in the meeting, in the Zoom meeting.
Okay, hi, good morning.
All right, Tyler.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Appreciate the opportunity to comment on the resolution in front of you with regards to the South Watervliet Drain Project. I had the opportunity to speak to the Finance Committee earlier this morning in support of the project and simply explain its value to the city. We've been working on this project in various capacities since 2015. We've been working with our partners, Whiteman Associates, as well as the Drain Commissioner's Office. This project is not a want; it's a project of need within the drainage district. On top of the drain projects, the city is moving forward with right around $400,000 worth of water main improvements, as well as recognizing Eagle's new lead and copper rules as it relates to lateral line connections into individuals' homes. And there's hopes that for an abandoned street, Park Street, that we form that into a dog park. So we're realizing economies of scales here. We are saving taxpayer dollars on mobilization and engineering costs. And frankly, with the bond rates where they are right now and the various funding mechanisms, we definitely support this project, and it's been a long time coming. And with that being said, I hope the commission chooses to approve the bonding for the project.
Very good, thank you.
Tyler,
Dave, did you have something?
I just wanted to thank Tyler. This is a project that's been going on for quite a while. And the people in those neighborhoods they're getting flooded every spring or big rain. It's a project that needs to get completed.
Yes, ma'am.
Chairperson, City Manager Tyler appeared at our Finance Committee, and we had good explanation, and he thanked our staff for working with him. I don't know if I know the names, Dan Fetty, our Drain Commissioner, and this is something that they've been talking about with us, I think, since 2015. And so the Finance Committee fully supports this resolution being passed and the good faith, and credit given.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, when we get to that point too, I I appreciate Tyler to offer the full explanation to the board. And I'd like to say also that even beyond 2015, much prior to 2015, the neighborhoods there were having a very challenged time trying to avoid water in late fall and early spring. And so this is something that's much needed and should fix a problem. And it needs to be done. It'll fix a problem that's been going on for a long, long time.
Okay, that's good.
Any other comments? Anything coming in from the worldwide web?
We have public comments on the resolution.
Is there a motion to approve the consent calendar as submitted?
Mr. Chairman,
Sir,
I have a question. On the agenda that I have printed out in front of me, Resolution B 2008311 is on that agenda. Is there a consent agenda that does not contain that resolution? Or
the
do
one
we?
I have in front of me.
Yes. There is a resolution without that, or there is an agenda without that resolution on it?
Yes, there is.
Yes, there is. Okay, I just wanted to be assured before I voted on it to make sure that that was correct.
Okay, for clarity's sake, that is not on the consent calendar. That's been moved back a week to the 13th.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair,
With that said,
this is Commissioner Scott.
Yes.
I would second Commissioner Curran's motion. If that's correct, if he still wants to stand by that, I would second that motion to accept the calendar.
Okay, well, he didn't make one.
I'll
Yeah.
make it. I'll make that
Okay.
motion that we
All
accept.
right. Thank
Without-
you. Jim, do you want a second?
I would be happy to second that.
Okay. There we go.
There we go.
Any discussion? Hearing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Curran,
Yes.
Breland,
Yes.
Harrison,
Yes.
Hugo,
Yes.
Hinkleman,
Yes.
Majerick,
Yes.
Meeks,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Walrath,
Yes, ma'am.
Yarborough,
Yes.
Chickering,
Yes.
Elliott.
Yes,
Mr. Chair, you have 12 yeas.
thank you. Committee reports. Bill, you want to lead off?
Sure. The PHSC committee had a Zoom meeting yesterday afternoon. We primarily talked to Nikki Britton and the Health Department. They have, I think, 5 different resolutions coming to the board next week. We were able to spend a good bit of time talking about 2 of them. One is a resolution that accepts approximately $940,000 of CARES Act money from the federal government through the state for use in COVID-19 contact tracing, facility research, meaning businesses and schools and things, et cetera. This is the second grant under the CARES Act for us. It's for coverage supposedly for 30 months, starting October 1st. We'll see. There's more discussion in Washington going on. After that, we moved to a resolution that will probably get some independent discussion at next week's meeting when it's presented. We have moved it forward to the full commission for next week. This involves, and the resolution is ending in 314 if you want to look out for it. This is the request of the Health Department to add 9 new positions. You didn't hear that, Sheriff. 9 new positions to help in the tracing and contact work for COVID-19 going forward. There would be 5 people in the contact and tracing area, 3 special health project coordinators who would be allocated to schools and businesses for their opening activities, and a communications assistant to help Jillian, who's just overwhelmed with all of the communication needs out there. These are all positions that are going to be paid for with this, with some of this $940,000 that we've received from the issue that has been raised, and some of my fellow commissioners have raised, is that the health department is proposing these to be permanent jobs, not part-time jobs, even though it's clear the pandemic aspect of this has some form of temporary, at least we hope, aspect to it. The reasons for going to a permanent position is Nikki's very convincing argument that they will be able to recruit much higher caliber, better trained employees for this critical work going forward. That it gives them flexibility to cover weekends and times they're mated to have staff engaged in the reporting aspects. She also freely admits that this is something, and any applicant will be advised that when this funding ends, the jobs go away. So this will be a full faith effort on their part to recruit great people with the understanding that these positions at some point in the future will probably end. I'm sure this will spark a little bit of discussion among the commissioners, and we look forward to that next week. And we'll talk about it then, I guess. Another resolution coming this way from the Health Department is a contract with Mosaic, the organization here in the Benton Harbor area, for indigent and homeless housing for individuals who contract the virus and need to be in isolation. We have had none so far. This is a preparatory resolution only. There is no money being spent on it, but should homeless individuals require quarantine, this allows Mosaic to do that work for us. Sorry, Terry, I'll get to you on that, I think. Thank you. In terms of the housing, the feeding, and the care of these individuals. A fourth resolution is a renewal of Dr. Johansen's contract with the Health Department, which runs through Lakeland's staffing organization. And then the other thing that came up, we had a long discussion with Dr. Johansen about testing. Berrien County has the best testing record in the state of Michigan. We have tested more folks per capita than anybody else and continue to lead in that area. The report on the COVID positives, because we have an increase, a surge of them, has been in the younger age groups, as you would expect, as youngsters are out doing their thing and going to the beach, etc. But there is no indication whatsoever that we should be taking extra steps to close beaches or anything like that, that everything is rather manageable. We're up to about 20 cases a day, which reflects the surge that's being seen across the country. And then we spent a little bit of time discussing the ongoing Benton Harbor lead water situation, which we can never lose sight of. This is still an important project for our health department, and we're still passing out filters and things like that. We've set up a number of different ways that people can get their filters, and we're still working with the city of Benton Harbor to get some work done to start replacing lead water lines. So we had a very interesting session with the Board of Health yesterday. Dave?
Yeah, I just wanted to add, Bill, that so the other commissioners know that this funding that we're getting from that grant can only be used for this purpose. And if not used for that purpose, it would have to be sent back. So.
Great. Thank you, Dave. That's important. And Terry asked the question about whether the positions are union jobs or not. And the answer is that I think 5 of them are and the others are not.
Terry looks like Governor Whitmer.
You're unmuted.
I know.
That's our report.
Okay. Does the Personnel Committee have any recommendation on those 9 positions for the Health Department? Full-time, part-time, something in between?
Dave can speak for himself, but I think Opie and I agreed that given the fact that there are going to be no preconceived notions about these positions, that we would in fact support the resolution as written. Is that right, Dave?
Yeah, same for me. I think Nikki did a great job of explaining why they would rather have full-time than part-time, and it made a lot of sense, and I agree with it.
Terry? What do you think?
So yesterday I was traveling and was unable to attend the Personnel Committee meeting, but I did watch it this morning. It's interesting, Bill, that you received my email while you were giving the update, because I actually sent it earlier, which tells you how delayed my broadband can be here. But with regards to those positions, I understand the importance of what we're doing with it. I still have some questions regarding it. And since I was unable to attend yesterday's meeting, I'll save and reserve those, my support or reservation regarding it until I have a few more of my questions answered for next week. Thank you.
All right. Any questions for PHS?
Mac, Commissioner Scott. I'm not sure if this is PHS or this is more Brian. I'm concerned because these 9 new positions, even though they would be contingent upon the funding, and now 5 of those are union. I guess what I would like to know before next week's meeting is I would like a total cost, such as pay grades and steps for these people that they're planning on hiring, and that includes with benefits, because I don't think, in my opinion, that the county should be picking up any of these costs if this is something that's COVID related that the state is so-called paying for. Because as I watched the personnel meeting, Nikki did say that it would be for the years 2021 and possibly 2022. So I just wanted to see if we could get a totals of money, because we're looking at over $900,000, and if it's incorporated in that, and you know, we can go from there. Thank you. That was my only comment.
All right. Typically, we're going to be looking at 30 to 35% for benefits above and beyond the base pay for a given position. So it would be worthwhile to know if that stipend from the state is intended to cover just the base pay, or if it is intended to cover everything.
Mac, I think it is intended to cover everything, and government's adder for benefits is 52%.
Ooh, okay.
May I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Chairperson, how will these jobs, how will people know about these jobs?
They'll be posted.
But I'm saying, will there be an article in the newspaper, or you just go to Berrien County looking for jobs and you'll see it? What?
Members of the board, if this proposal is approved, and if the grant funding is also approved, we would then go through the process of posting the jobs onto the county's website. We would additionally make clear to any of the applicants that the resolution approving the positions makes very clear that it is contingent upon having the outside state funding. Nikki and I had a lengthy discussion along with Shelley, our HR director, that should the Board of Commissioners grant authority to move forward, it would be tied with a very clear contingent statement that these positions, if the state of Michigan no longer provides funding, they would then, the positions would be eliminated. Just in the past few minutes, I've sent an email to the full board with some background information on the proposal. There is a staff memo that explains the proposal. There's also support documents showing the various proposed positions. And then I've also sent you all a link to the Herald Palladium's coverage of this week's PHSC and Health Department board meeting. That should give you all an opportunity just to get up to speed. I will follow up with Commissioner Scott's request for an analysis showing the true costs for each of the positions. I'll make sure that that's included in your packet. And then with my email to each of you, I've asked if you've got any more specific questions, just send them to me directly, and I'll work with staff to track down that information and pull it into the overall packet for next week's meeting.
Mr. Chairman,
Thanks. Yes, sir.
I have a couple quick questions. I'm not sure I heard it correctly. How long did you anticipate 900,000 would last?
Bill?
The initial 900,000, how long will that
Right.
last? Is that for a year or a year and a half, or how
I
long?
think Bill said 21 and perhaps 22 budget cycles, but I don't know if that funding would be exhausted before the 2022 cycle. Bill, do you know?
The numbers Nikki gave us would indicate that the cost for, I believe, the first 18 months of the project would be about 653,000.
Correct.
The grant supposedly is 30 months, but I think everybody understands that there's going to be more money required if we have to do all of this work for 30 months.
Okay,
With
thank you.
this, and this is tied to the state's October 1 to September 30 financial year?
Correct.
Okay, and the basis for my question was, if we don't get any money past the 900,000, how long is this good for? Before it'll run out and not renewed. My next question is, I'm assuming, but I don't want to assume, that's why I'm going to ask the question. There are no legacy costs associated with this. Once the people are gone, they're gone. There's nothing that's going to go into our pension, unemployment, nothing like that. There are no costs after that. Is that correct?
Well, unemployment, there would be. Pension, they wouldn't vest just by virtue of being hired for that short duration, and they could opt out of a pension contribution, actually. But unemployment, yes, they would factor into our number, our multiplier for unemployment.
Just a follow-up question to that. I'm not real familiar with unemployment. What does that cost us per person, and how long are they on unemployment before it runs out?
Gosh, I don't know anymore. I'd have to find out.
So commissioners, I've just been jotting down notes on all of the questions that are coming from you. I'll be working with Nikki and Shelley to answer each question. We'll be doing an analysis on the total cost with benefits. We'll be doing an analysis on the legacy costs, pension, unemployment, and any other potential legacy costs. I'll be working to get this out to you all, hopefully, potentially by tomorrow, if not early next week.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thanks, Brian.
Sure.
Yep, no problem.
Any other
Tim?
questions?
And the board. Unemployment is based on your unemployment records. If you have a lot of unemployment, you get charged more money than if you have very few unemployment. And it can be anywhere from 2 to 6% of the amount you're paying the employee. So if they're making $1, they're gonna, 6 cents is going in unemployment. If they're making $2, it could be 12 cents. So that's what it's based on, the total payroll of the county.
Okay, thank you, Mark.
Maybe Chris. Okay, any other questions for PHS? If not, we'll move into finance. Madam Yarbrough.
Thank you.
Madam Chair.
We did have a finance committee meeting today. Our full membership was there. We accepted the minutes, and then we talked about the full faith and credit resolution for the drain. And I think we've talked about it here. John Hinkleman spoke and made a statement because that is his area, his or what he knows and where he lives. That has been going on for many years. And we were pleased that the city manager of Waterville was there. He had a chance to speak it all. And so what we all agreed, the committee, is that we want to support the resolution and bring it to the full board so that it can be passed and, this work can begin. As they told you, from the city of Waterville, they're putting in $400,000 and it's going to work. And then we had a question from Commissioner Scott about a bill that was in our requisition list. It was for 3 water pumps, and the total was $35,755. And he did not remember that coming to us as some, as put out for bids or whatever. And Administrator Doucette got in touch while we were having our meeting with Todd Johnson. And what happened was we discovered that it was an emergency. A water pump had failed in the courthouse building. And it was already on the list for 2021 for a capital replacement, but one of the water pumps or something failed. And so they had to go ahead and install the, fix the full thing, or there would not have been hot water at the courthouse. With that answer, we were satisfied, and the full committee agreed that we should go ahead and pay the bill. We didn't want to hold it up. We understood and agreed with it going ahead and being fixed. And then Jake Lideker from Finance opened bids, and we had a number of bids, and Chris Swihart, our director of IT, was there because we said, explain to us, what is this? Is it a building? The bid was for server and storage infrastructure. I wondered if it was something that had to be built or, what, because the probability cost that they estimated was 330,000. I don't see that number. Is that what the number was?
355.
355, thank you. 355,000. They hoped the bid would fall within that. And we had we had sent out 5 requests for bids, and then we received one more from someone that saw the request and put in a bid. And then we had one bid we received, and it came after 4 o'clock. And so Jake Lideker was told not to open it, and because it came in late. But as we discussed, we found out that Chris Swihart had talked to a company and had been talking to them even last week. And when they said, well, by what time do we have to have it in? He told them by the end of business day, and it was. And so we as a committee agreed that it should be open. So all the bids that we had were opened. And I just want to tell you the companies. It was Sentinel from Grand Rapids, Michigan. What we found out, I guess the people that put bids in were listening on the listening to our finance committee on YouTube, and they called in and said, we have more than one. And so it helped us to look through better. Our person from finance is new at doing the purchasing, and we're kind of, he was working with him, and Chris, and he looked at the bids, and they found multiple bids from each company. So I just want to tell you the company and where they're from. Sentinel of Grand Rapids, Michigan, Frontier Business of Norwalk, Connecticut, but they have an office in Muskegon, Michigan. Presidio of Caledonia, Michigan, Logicalis of Lansing, Michigan, Michigan Office Solutions. I don't know where they were from. That's the one we didn't know had received late, but we went ahead and opened it. And so what we did, we had a motion that was read by our secretary, Stephanie Carlton read it for us, that the bid would be given to the department, Chris Swihart, and he's to come back to us with what is the best bid to take. And we really needed to do that this time. What we did was ask that he come back. The solution from our administrators that he looks at the work and comes back with what he considers the best bid from all of these things. And hopefully it will be ready to come back next week, and we will have a finance committee meeting and be able to bring the resolution to the full board. The reason that we need this, you've seen a number of times where it says the server is out from this time to that time, or it'll say it's back on. And so he wants to have the proper storage and all for what we need to set up our system, and a few extras so that if something else goes out, he'll be able to quickly insert. And this is building what is needed as we take that, that main tower that we've been trying to take out for years. This is what he needs to be able to do that. And I imagine from the company that he chooses, should it be other things, it could be added to it. But that way it will keep things running and there won't be that downtime that we've known about. And so by next week, we'll be ready to hopefully bring the resolution to you. Then we had public comments. There was someone called, a person, her name was Mercedes Gregg, and she was from Niles. And what we're going to do with her comment is give it to our admin or to Annette, and she will see that it gets to the correct department for it to be handled, or that the information is gotten to all of the, our whole board, the 12 members, and we'll see what to do. You know, we do not answer things as they come to us, but it will be addressed to Annette and she will work with that and get it to us. Were there any other things, members, that we talked about? Then
No.
that's my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions for finance?
Mr. Chairman? This is
Yes,
Commissioner
sir.
Scott. I wrote this down before, and this was a question to Bill Chickering, PHS. Bill, you had mentioned about the homeless or whatever, in case, they have to have a place for them to stay with COVID. And I didn't know, but didn't we already approve that a month or so ago? University dorm rooms and the security contract?
We probably did, Ezra. This is for the people who will actually do the support work through Mosaic.
Okay. I wanted to understand that. I didn't want to see any doubling down, that's all. Because if we already have a place. Okay, thank you.
Right.
Any other questions? Commissioner reports, does anyone have anything? Okay, that sounds good.
My hand is up.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Hello. What I would like to let you know is that last Friday, I attended Youth Build Open House. They had a house at 710 Bus Avenue in Benton Harbor, Michigan, that they had rehabbed. And they had an open house for us to see the work that had been done. And there was a lady when this house was taken to be done that was renting it. And so she moved out, but she's very much interested in purchasing this house. And they're working with her to help with her credit because she has no credit. But they're working to see if they can get it where she could purchase the house. And then there is a person that had worked with Youth Bill a number of years ago. He's older now and out, and working, is very much interested in this house. So they have a sale for it, which is good. The block that it was in was 710 Bus. And I can tell when it's houses are owner occupied, you saw flowers in the yard and different things. And it's a decent neighborhood. So I'm thankful that they were able to do that. The young people learned a lot, and that there is somebody that wants to buy this house. One other thing I would like to say is I thank you all for the notes and your prayers and your support of me being back on the Berrien County Commission Board. I wanted very much to be that. When I don't want to be or not able to do it, then I won't run. But I'm thankful to have won, and I thank you for your prayers and your well wishes.
Very good, thank you. Anything else? I want to do a connection check. I can't see Dave, but I don't know if Dave is there by audio. Dave, can you hear?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, all right, your box is dark, but Okay, so you're connected.
I can see them on Zoom, so
Oh,
if
you
you have any
can?
questions, just let me know, and I can
Okay.
tell you whether they're here or not.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Administrator report?
Nothing to add at this time. I know that the sheriff is hoping to speak
Sure.
with the board.
All right, we're going to do general public comments, and then sheriff, other business, will fold you in there if that's all right. Yeah. So let's pause for a moment and find out if anyone out there has any comments about anything under the sun.
Julie Werfel from Royalton Township. I am looking forward to serving my district and working with you. I will continue to attend online so that I can stay abreast of the resolutions and issues so that I can hit the ground running. Adolph says good morning. Right, I don't believe you have any more public comments.
I will close public comment, go to other business. If it's all right, before any commissioners share their business, I'd like to hear from the sheriff, because I know he has some other places to go this morning. Paul?
Thanks, Meg. Well, I just wanted to update you. We've been very busy with fatal accidents over the last couple of weeks, assisting other agencies with our accident reconstructionist team. As you can see yesterday, we had a semi cross through the median, go through the wire, hit an SUV and another semi crash. So there's one fatality in that. So we had the highway blocked off for quite a few hours last night. That happened about 7:21. Road Lake Police Department's working the initial where our accident reconstruction team is working with them. We also assisted Lincoln Township with a fatal motorcycle accident a few days ago. We had yesterday another bad motorcycle accident down in Niles Township. Working very closely with the Benton Harbor Department of Public Safety, Director Dan McGinnis. We have been providing extra patrols. Director McGinnis met with Captain Brown and Colonel Gasper about receiving some additional troopers down in the area because of the shootings that have been occurring, the homicides. So under the Secure City initiative, they're reassigning 6 troopers to come down here and do additional patrols. So there'll be 3 double cars from the state police working in Benton Harbor assisting Director McGinnis. And then on the days that they have off, we will be filling in on those days with extra deputies to assist Benton Harbor Public Safety. So as you know, on just the other day, 3 people were shot in a vehicle, and I believe 2 of them are still in critical condition, 1 in stable. So that investigation is still continuing on. Last night on Agar, Benton Township is working a shooting. So the extra patrols would help, will calm things down. The state police started yesterday, and I think last night in their patrols, on traffic stops, they already got 3 guns off the street. So I want to thank Colonel Gasper and Captain Brown for sending this help. It's needed right now, so let's hope things calm down and we can get through the rest of the summer without all this violence happening in the city of Benton Harbor. So I know Dan McGinnis is working as hard as he can. He's short a few officers, so this is why the additional help is needed from the state police and us helping also filling in, but we can't do it every day. It would burn out our deputies that still have to cover the rest of the 585 square miles. So our deputies can only work so much overtime before they start to get burned out. So it's nice that the teamwork is happening and the state police are coming down with 6 troopers. So any questions? I'd be happy to answer.
Questions? Yes.
Sheriff, I'm just interested, we normally have some of your officers assigned at the Boys and Girls Club in Benton Harbor and at the high school, as I recall. What have those officers been doing during this period of time when those things are shut down?
Well, the Boys and Girls Club has been shut down since March, so Vanessa Williams has been moved over at working general patrol. And the contract with Benton Harbor was eliminated. They eliminated the contract once COVID-19, so we have nobody at the high school anymore. That contract has been eliminated and that deputy was reassigned to an opening that we have. So I have nobody to give to Benton Harbor. We already have an opening. The issue is it's awful hard to find law enforcement officers right now. Filling vacancies for all law enforcement is being very difficult. The academy in Kalamazoo Valley used to have 30 to 40 people through it. They're only having 12 to 13 people even sign up and want to go through the academy to become police officers right now. So there is going to be a shortage of law enforcement. There is now, and I think it's going to get worse as we move into issues that are happening across our country, and we're finding out less people want to get into law enforcement at this time. That is going to create a major problem. We're trying to recruit. We were very blessed. We had a bunch of people retire, and I just hired 3 people, but one of those people that sent them, all 3 of these people sent themselves through the academy, but one was a reserve force, one was a cadet force, an explorer force, and one had worked several years as a Marine deputy. So they're local people, and after working for us and these other things, we were able. They wanted to send themselves through the academy so that they could be hired, and I hired all 3 of them. But we're still going to have 2 openings that we're trying to fill, and we don't have a lot of applicants to pick from. So Dan McGinnis is having the same problems as he's down 3 to 4 people, and he's not finding the applicants to even consider hiring anybody. He's working on it, trying to recruit people, but it's being very difficult for him.
Thank you.
Any other questions for the sheriff?
Yes. Sheriff, can you tell us about the Niles event with the lady that was arrested?
Just that I sent out a press release, you have it. I looked at the use of force, I see no wrongdoing, and that's about all I will comment on that right now.
Was it a sheriff department involved or a Niles police?
It was one of my deputies.
Okay, thank you.
Annette, did you have something?
I have one more public comment that was coming in through it, I'm sorry.
All right.
Is that okay?
Sure.
Tommy Benhart with Sodas Township. A reminder that there's a 3 o'clock meeting on Monday with MDOT for the 131 completion, and it is a virtual meeting on Microsoft Teams.
Thank you, Tony. Other business, anybody have anything?
I have a comment. I was on mute and I was talking. I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
It's a question to the sheriff. There's a movement going around about police officers, and we need to get, how do we get this information out to tell people we need police officers? We need police officers. We need good officers. and we need to fill these jobs. And they, well, of course, there's some risk involved with it, but they're good paying jobs. But we need to get, I don't know, maybe some of the commissioners have some answers. How do we get people involved in to do some of the things that we need them to do? To step up and be good police officers and protect the communities. How do we do that? I don't have the answer, but maybe some of the other commissioners can say how we can recruit some of these people. So my suggestion maybe to the commissioner, maybe we can come up with something to get people more involved in their community and the needs that they need in their community. Guess that's the only thing I had to say. If maybe I don't have the answer, maybe some of us can have the answer.
Don?
Yes.
Anyone else have any questions, comments, further business?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
As Commissioner Curran, hey, I'd like to bring up a topic that we have talked about in the past, and that is our association memberships. And so I'd kind of like to throw this out to the board and to the chair to research the three associations, that two of which we belong to and one we do not. We've had discussions in the past about NACO. We've also had some discussions in the past about MAC and the MTA, the Michigan Township Association. So if it would be agreeable to the board, what I would like to ask is that, because Commissioner Volrath is quite involved in MAC now, to do some research on MAC. And by research, I mean the cost for us to be a member and the benefits to the board and to the county from that association. We've also talked about NACO, and Commissioner Frayling is familiar with NACO and has already done some research. And I would be willing to research the Michigan Township Association. So we could do the research and then report back to the board on either joining another association or terminating our relationship with other associations. I think we just want to look at the benefits that we're getting and benefits that we could get by the other organizations. So if it's agreeable to you and the board, Dave, Terry, and I would be willing to do that and report back to the board.
Everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
If anyone's not okay with that, say so.
Just kidding.
Okay, all right, then we'll formalize this. And Jim, you're appointed to do some research on MAC?
MTA.
Not, all right, on the Michigan Township Association, sorry.
Yes.
Dave, Michigan Association of Counties. Terry, National Association of Counties. And to get back to us in due course, let us know if we're getting our money's worth. Should we continue? Should we keep them all, keep two, drop one, whatever? Are you accepting those charges and those tasks, the three of you?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Terry, okay, all right, charge on. Any other business? Okay, we're at the point where we need to go into closed session under the attorney-client privilege to discuss matters pertaining to litigation pursuant to MCL 15.268, parents, small e, closed parents, to be specific. Is there a motion to, and I would note, I don't anticipate we're going to be doing anything once we come back into open session, other than, tidying up some of the matters involving litigation that we'll be discussing in closed session, but there won't be any other business coming before the board. Is that correct?
Mr. Chair?
Yes, sir.
If I could make a suggestion before we look for the motion, would you give announcements and reminders to our YouTube viewing staff or viewing public.
Okay, sure. The meeting next month, we were supposed to do a night meeting after Labor Day on the 10th of September. Because of circumstances beyond our control, we will be doing that here during the day at 10:30 on the computer, virtually. So I don't know of any other announcements.
And next week's meeting will be virtual too.
Oh, next week, we're going to be doing it this way again. We are going to try to get into a regular rotation for committees. I think it's important to get the committees back in session. And so we'll have something more to say about that next week. I know Brian's working something up right now. And with that, if no one else has anything for the good of the cause, we'll entertain a motion to go into closed session.
May I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Chairman, so are we not having a September 3rd meeting?
Pardon me?
Are we not having a September 3rd?
3rd of September?
Because that Monday is Labor Day. You went to the 10th because it was a night meeting, but what about September 3rd?
Is it on the schedule right now to meet?
I don't know.
Yes.
It is, okay. Well, right now, we're planning to meet. That
Thank
could
you.
change. Yep.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, I will
Sir.
defer to Annette, but I believe our finance meeting next Thursday is at 9 a.m., not 9:30. Is that still correct, Annette?
That is correct.
Thank you. That's all I have.
All right. Is there a motion to go into closed session for the purposes stated a short time ago?
Commissioner Ballrath, I'll make that motion.
Michael Majerick, I will second.
Supported by Majerick. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Freely,
Yes.
Harrison,
Yes.
Hugo,
Yes.
Engelmann,
Yes.
Majerick,
Yes.
Meeks,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Ballrath,
Yep.
Yarborough,
Yes.
Chickering,
Yes.
Curran,
Yes.
Elliott.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, you have 12 yeas.
Okay, we are in closed session.